made and specific ideas. I'm realizing my green screen is blowing onto camera because of my fan, and I don't want any of you to see that. So pretend you don't see it.
That's all right. I'll just Ultra Key it out in that Premiere Pro.
Right? Yeah, you can do that because it is a green screen. Anyway, that's how I take all my thumbnail pictures. You know?
I'm going to put the worst picture of you I can find on that green screen. Welcome back to Pro and Noob, everyone. We are at the point where we are talking about DanDaDan as a whole for 2 seasons. I want to talk about the manga, but 2 people haven't read it here, unfortunately. But we have Jarod. And we are joined by Jerry, the Canon Junkie from the Bombad cast. I have collected the Bombad boys in 1 year, like Infinity Stones.
That's right. Yes, and like Infinity Stones, we're hard to kill. So, just come at me. That's all I got to say. No, listen, it's great to finally be on here. I was going to say, I know Scotty came on to talk about Evangelion, and you guys all recently dragged me. Didn't drag me. You all followed me on a journey through that, and I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all for making me take that trip with you. So thank you.
It's really funny you say that, because the amount of times I've spoken to Jarod about, I think it was when it was his 50th time on Bombad at the start of the year. Him and Scotty at the end of that, before Scotty came on here, were talking about Evangelion for like 20 minutes. And this might be a complete misjudgment on my part. You look so uncomfortable with them talking about like the child nudity in that show, right? It's like, oh, I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to watch that. I'm like, it's obviously it's totally understandable. It's not for everyone,
right?
But I'm like, this guy's never going to watch this show, and that sucks, because I bet he'd love it. If Jarod and Scotty would love it, I bet Jarod would love it.
You got a true like Evangelion scaring the hose moment, where like we did what Alden joked about in the Deadpool and Wolverine review. On Nerd Academy, which turned into the infamous Lowborn clip.
Classic clip. My all-time favorite. All-time favorite.
Always.
But it was like all of it, but you got that full experience that Alden was joking about. Where he's like, yeah, it's all the Evangelion nerds that are scaring the hose. But we scared this hose so hard that now he's on this show, not even to talk about Evangelion.
No.
And speaking of Jerry being on this show, I do also want to point out, because Jerry made his delightful Ghostbusters reference, and I am wearing I am wearing one of my few red tag Roosevelts.
Look at that.
Tell me how you're not Kinta again.
I'm not Kinta. Don't fucking say that.
Listen,
you
man,
said it. You started it, Jarod.
Are a sharp-dressed man like one Kinta Sakata. Okay, that's all I gotta say. So it's a compliment.
I'm so glad the rest of our friends don't watch this, because I would get the Kinta comparisons in our group chat.
I'm trying to get Scotty.
I'm trying to get Scotty. They would not be kind.
And honestly, that's the worst one to get. That's like an Omega level threat if he made it all the way to Sakata. So
I don't need Scotty talking about double, triple Gundam Labubu Deluxe. I don't need
10-gallon wieners. No. Well, I was wondering. So listen, I really appreciate the shirt. I'm honestly quite jealous, because I don't think that one's even available anymore, and that is beautiful. It is wonderful.
The red tag. The reason it has a red tag is these are one of like the old. This is like the OG ones before
the ones I started getting, like all the because they knew it. Facebook knows you're a nerd, and they really start pushing that shit at you. At a very early stage, and so I remember those.
That's how I ended up with my David Pumpkins shirt. That was my first one, and now I have a problem.
David Pumpkins is my spirit animal. I love this man. Right? But listen, and part of why I think I've fallen in love with DanDaDan is because the vibes are. It is a. I'd say a spiritual successor, not a spiritual sequel. It is a spiritual successor to Ghostbusters, and what I love about that franchise.
They're like thematic cousins.
Yeah,
they're like thematic.
They're
cousins.
The same. It is the mundane, like, we're just working class people. We're just regular Joes. and we are in this crazy world and we're handling it in just real world ways and stuff. And also we're all funny as hell. That is, that's what I've always loved about Ghostbusters. It is people dealing in crazy, super scary situations who are who have the best jokes of all time. You know, it's just like they're just cracking jokes the entire time, and that is what I love about it. And that I get a lot of that from DanDaDan, and that is just it feeds my soul. It feeds my soul so much, and I love it.
Well, I will say, like, whenever we started, sorry, Mitch, I didn't mean to step on you there.
That's fine.
But whenever we started watching it, when I saw that first episode and then going into the second one, you know, Jerry, you've been watching all of the DanDaDan coverage, so
yes.
I'm also looking forward to hearing you finally get to speak on my takes, because you've privately said that you're interested to hash a couple things out with me.
No, I'm not going to spank you completely.
Finally.
No, yeah. Mitch has some backup.
I'm excited to push back from someone I consider an intellectual equal.
All power to Irish Irritorian here.
Yeah,
but
we love
but I watched it and I went, oh, I get it. I get why Jerry loves this, because we've talked about like I'm a conspiracy guy. You know, I'm into like the lore of like your MK Ultras and all of the conspiracy weirdos. But like, you're the other side of the coin. Where like you like the I want you to convince me about aliens and shit, you know. And when like we have specifics like the Serpos coming up, like that's a world that I have like a passing familiarity with because of like Project Camelot shit. But like I live in like the Democrats are literal demons working for the literal Christian devil. That's my flavor of conspiracy theory that I enjoy. Fun. But you're a UFO guy. You're a paranormal guy. So like I saw this first, I watched these first two episodes and I'm like, oh my, I get why Jerry loves this shit.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was a great little vehicle to collect the bomb bad boys. So anyway, what you were about to say, Mitch,
I was just because I haven't, obviously we've been talking, Jerry, from essentially the entire season.
Absolutely.
Season 2.
Yeah.
But I've held up and asking, how did you actually find DanDaDan? Because like even getting, I can understand because you had Scotty and you had Jarod talking about it. Cowboy Bebop, I can understand because you had Jarod talking about it. But then you get this, and it's not an obscure thing because it was the most watched anime last year.
Right. I had heard about it. I had heard the name just like in the ether, right? And I forget what I had finished, but I had finished something on Netflix. Literally, it was one of those nights at home, you know, just like sitting there. I'll finish one show, and then that was one of the recommendations, and I read the little synopsis on there. A girl believes in ghosts, but not aliens. A boy believes in aliens, but not ghosts. And I was like, what is this? This sounds great. And I started watching, and that first episode, insanity.
I loved that.
It was instant. It was an instant. I instantly fell in love. Because here's another thing that I love, and I will listen. If you're a friend of mine, and Jarod knows this, and I did this to Trey in Chicago recently. Our friend Trey, mutual friend Trey. I was talking too much about Ghostbusters, and I said, "Oh, I'm talking too much about Ghostbusters now." And he's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh, yeah, you got ya." But one thing I love about this show that also does, at least the original, like Dan Aykroyd is an actual like he comes from a long line of like paranormal investigators and spiritualists and stuff like that. Like his grandfather basically wrote the whole like thing that like they have like a spirit guide in the movies called Tobin's Spirit Guide, which is like this esoteric thing that kind of like has all this information about different kinds of spirits. That's his grandfather's book essentially. And what I love about it is Dan Aykroyd and the people who write those movies and everything, they do their homework about these cases that people have said that something weird has happened, and you can get that real flavor and stuff. You know, it's like you can tell when someone's just
I'm assuming it's something weird and it didn't look
good. Yeah, it's something strange in your neighborhood. Yeah, absolutely. But DanDaDan and Jarod knows this too, because there's a little bit of the, like you were just saying, there is that bit of like they did their homework on this shit.
Yeah.
And like you recognize, like they did Project Pegasus and all this kind of stuff. They do their effing homework on this entire thing with like aliens and things like that. And here's my first thing that I will say. I am not standing up for SA or anything like that or anything. I don't want to defend that. I don't want to be the defender of, I'm not really like, that was a sentence. I know. I don't want to sit here and defend that scene a ton. The reason they're obsessed with the bananas and shit is because that's what aliens all they want, man.
It's the anal probe, isn't it?
I think it's Raul Boaz or something. I'm trying to think of the man's name. There was a gentleman in Brazil who he was like out plowing the field at night in like the 1950s or something because it was too hot during the day. And he got taken into a ship and they essentially stripped him naked and brought in this hot alien babe for him to, go at it with. And they put him in a gel that made him like super like horny, and he went to town and had a great time. And then apparently they are obsessed with our genitals, Jarod. This is where they are obsessed with them. Okay. And this is something I have to have people understand about DanDaDan. The reason they stole, and again, Turbo Granny stole the dick at first and stuff, because like, I liked y'all's explanation. She's protecting girls and stuff like that. But the reason they want those balls and the reason they are obsessed with humans' bananas is what they say. That is a whole thing. The Greys don't have those little bits and stuff. They don't procreate anymore. And so they're like trying to figure it out and trying to like, I guess, like get that back for themselves. They're trying to work all this out. And all I'm saying is the aliens they've always been obsessed with our bits. Okay. And I am sounding so crazy right now. I sound so schizophrenic. It's impossible to take me serious.
It's that, but you also have like the Serpos are a stand-in for Japanese salarymen,
right?
And a huge thing with guess what? They all look the same. They all have that same like gormless, smiling face. That's a huge problem in Japan of salarymen. Over time's the hobby, attacking young girls. So you have we're going to like the whole date, rape, drugs and all that sort of shit. And the whole, look, we looked after your stuff. Like that sort of manipulation tactic. Like that's obviously the whole obsessed with the genitals bit is there, taken from the aliens, but it's being warped to actually fit in with critiquing like modern day Japan.
Absolutely.
Especially that like incel salaryman culture.
And truth to that, again, I'm not as clued in with like, the cultural element, obviously, the noob, it's a bit above my pay grade. But like, and again, and this is not necessarily to defend myself to Jerry, but just to kind of like refresh the conversation a little bit, because we have put so much time between my stance in the pilot episode and talking about it now, is that like a lot of that was me going, geez, I hope this show handles this specific topic with care, and I think that, and again, I take accountability for maybe not being clear, like I know we had that one person who commented saying that I sound like a prude and that I can't handle mature storytelling. Again, all that, you can't appreciate mature storytelling, whatever, fine. But like, for me, it was in that moment, it was the mix of a lot of the anime I have been exposed to into my life so far has centered on really raunchy, and oftentimes raunchy depictions of young girls.
Right.
Again, the anime I have watched the most of is My Hero Academia. And like, there is some stuff in there that like that. Yeah, there is that, and it does that, it's like the whole joke about, successful satire is noticeable as satire from a mile away, and if you aren't clearly satire, then you're just doing the thing you're trying to criticize. And I think that that's something My Hero falls into, where it tries so hard to make fun of fan service as a trope, but it's not doing it effectively. It's just doing the fan service and it accidentally an egregious version of it through failed satire.
I mean, the first episode of My Hero does a very similar scene to DanDaDan.
It's been so long, I don't remember. I'm not. That's not me. I have no rejoinder to that because I have no recollection.
Deku and Bakugo get caught by that guy, that weird quirk guy. Like he's all like a massive gelatinous blob, and his entire thing is stealing people's quirk by forcing himself inside them.
Love that.
First, no one talks about it because it's two boys. But Momo, on the other hand, gets all the attention. No.
Well, yeah, but again, also, but I think there is that element of like, I think that it is pervasive. I think that it can be harmful.
Absolutely.
And again, like my reaction to it was, here are all the pitfalls this could be falling into. It also didn't help that it was happening wasn't it happening like right around the same time we just got like that very controversial sexual assault scene in Andor. So like that was also on the mind. I don't think those two things were separated by a whole lot.
No, I think it might be in the same week.
On Rao. It may have been, I don't remember, but either way, all of these things are kind of compounding on each other and I'm feeling some kind of way about it. And for me, it was, again, if you go back and watch that episode, it's me saying, here are all the reasons why on paper I don't like this.
Right.
And then going, that said, I don't think it is actually doing those things, and on top of like, Mitch, you said at the time, Jerry, you said as well again now, that like it is about it is partly the alien observation, probing obsession with like, why, we evolve differently. Why do you have these parts that we don't? This doesn't make any sense to me, whatever. It's rooted in that, but it's also rooted in my English teacher take that this whole thing is an allegory for like the horrors of puberty, and
I don't think you're wrong on that, by the way. I don't think you're very far off of that at all. So,
no. And like I said, by the time the show's over, it could completely say, Jarod, you're a fucking idiot, and I'll hold that L among the others. But here, like, again, the show begins with Momo having to resist a sexually violent person. And the first episode ends with Momo having had to resist another sexually violent encounter. And I think that the early iteration of Momo and Okarun's arc has so much to do with like how like sexuality is going to be foisted upon young people, whether they want it or not. And it manifests in different ways. It manifests in a very similar expectation.
Right.
One is kind of with a perceived acceptance and the other one is with a perceived kind of like, yeah, well, you'll get used to it kind of tone. And I think it's very pointed in that way. And, outside of that, like, I think like the fan service, Red Alert I think that was really the only time that went up. I remember, Mitch, you and I were joking with the like Loch Ness Serpo attack arc. Yeah. Where like you were convinced I was going to have something to say about that.
I was, yeah. I'm still surprised now you didn't really.
And I was like, I said, if I were writing the show, would I have gone, they need to take their clothes off to swim? No, but I get it. You're swimming. And I also get the extended metaphor that they're trying to, work in about these different flavors of intimacy. It's a lot of big ideas that I do think work really well on their own. It makes choices I personally wouldn't make because I get weird about that kind of thing, especially when it's young people. But by the same token, I understand what they're going for. And yeah, look at us. In the very opening moments of this episode, we've already solved the suggestive teenager problem.
Yes. So well, it's the key thing of question. Yeah, it's the it's kind of the key secret.
Three white guys fixed the problem.
Yeah, you're welcome, women, ladies.
Hey,
but
Forget about it, you know?
I've just killed a man on camera. Look at him. Look at him go. Is that 2 weeks in a row I've done that?
Yes, he did. Because not only 2 weeks in a row, you almost made me do a normal spit take, but you made me do the cough take. You hit, like, the moment I did a little, you went joke and.
But it's the key secret of DanDaDan is it's a secret slice of life wrapped in a little shonen overcoat. So you have the yokai, not the yokai, you have the Serpo and the aliens, predominantly all being men, have been that stand-in for like the sexual assault problem that does happen in Japan to young girls. But you also have on top of that the yokai, primarily, apart from one, I think.
Yeah.
All being women.
Well, and
like
women and a child, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like they're the old traditional Japan. That they're the pressure that old Japan puts on young people. That's the whole metaphor of everything. So the entire thing is just a metaphorical day-to-day life of a high school kid in Japan having to navigate all this. You're never going to see like Momo sit down and talk about what's happened to her, because that's not the point. Because we've gone through this thing together. The connections between these characters are what keeps them grounded. Therefore, it's all good. I say all good. It still happens. Obviously, it's still a problem they've got to overcome. Right. But
yeah,
that's like the key thing of DanDaDan.
Yeah, and again, I think it is really clever because, like, you know, early on, and I haven't really come back to this comparison in a while, just because, like, you know, the show has developed more of a monster of the week, like almost like we were talking about Ghostbusters. There's almost like a Buffy / Angel vibe to it now. Mostly Angel for me because I haven't actually seen that much of Buffy, even though I've watched all of Angel multiple times, which makes no sense to people.
I did that with Torchwood. I can't stand Doctor Who. I love Torchwood. Go figure.
That is crazy to me that you don't fuck with Doctor Who.
We've had this conversation before.
Have we?
Yeah. If it was 2 weeks ago, it was 2 weeks ago.
Aren't you from the UK though? Come on, man. What the hell?
Unfortunately, yeah. I get that every time. Everyone's like, but you're British. It's like, yeah. Oh, the reason why
my thing isn't you're British. My thing is like thematically, Who seems like something you should be
Everyone
into.
finds out I'm American. They're like, "Do you like guns?" Right? I'm like, "Not really." You know, no.
Not really. Yes, it's not
Mitch,
really. No,
not a ton.
Mitch gets a like historically celebrated science fiction franchise.
All we have is guns and burgers.
Pave the way for genre fiction, and it's Gunburger. Yeah, we're exactly. Gunburger. Everything is Gunburger. It's Gunburger parking lot. To steal my favorite Hassan Pikerism.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I kind of came back to like there's like the beginning of this show feels very much like a superhero origin.
Yeah.
And that was something that I latched onto because there's also that element of like a lot of like the teenage hero stuff tends to have a lot of like this is in itself is a metaphor about puberty on top of many other things. You know, one thinks of X-Men and Spider-Man in particular. And I saw a lot of that, but as the show kind of found its legs and like really got going, like I kind of kept forgetting to go back to that, you know, because again, it is started to have this very Buffy Angel, you know, supernatural, like, you know, monster of the week. We're on an overarching adventure, but like along the way, we keep encountering this ridiculous bullshit. And I think it does use these metaphors very brilliantly. And Mitch, you know, you're kind of giving me more of a skeleton key, you know, because like I know we're not at the end, but we're at an end.
Oh, you're not even
for a little bit. But I know we're like at an end for where the road will go for us right now.
Yeah.
And I appreciate getting kind of that skeleton key about like being able to unlock, oh, these are these cultural like kind of issues in Japan that color these metaphors that like I was picking up on. You know, like I don't like my brain isn't wired and doesn't have the ability to go, oh, all the aliens are guys and all the ghosts are ladies. And that is why you know, they manifest in these specific ways and like leave these kids with specific things. I mean, and now that I know that, like, it makes sense that all of the kids get yokai powers.
Apart from one, two even.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Momo's in a weird zone there where it's not quite a yokai power, but it's adjacent to it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but like that is passed down through family. But like, you know, but I think that also lends itself towards, you know, these kids are growing up with these societal expectations baked into their day-to-day life.
Yeah.
So like them getting these powers are reflective of the pressures that already exist mixed with kind of this like new problem. And like, they're not necessarily new problem, but like this problem that is kind of just finally taking its hood off and making itself known. Right.
They're also the heightened parts of their personalities.
Of course. Yeah.
Because obviously, I was saying Momokarun then, but that's not his name. Okarun, the whole running away thing, it's just that defense because you never like, it's part of his character's design, like the whole never seeing his eyes in the glasses, apart from when he's actually being assertive. Like that defense is just to run away. And obviously, he uses that defense to become an offense. So sort of stuff like that.
Right, right.
No, I mean that's absolutely brilliant, you know. And again, what we were talking about, you know, with Ira, you know, a lot of it is, you know, acro silky. It's very showy. It's very effeminate. It's very pretty looking.
It's very prim and proper, is what it is.
It's very prim and proper, you know. But what does that hide? It hides like, you know, a crisis of self. Who am I really? You know, again, maybe it's all the Evangelion that has poisoned our fucking minds. But you know, there's also a skosh of, you know, hedgehog dilemma in there with all of them. But you know, like you have that with Gigi, it is the evil eye, where you get all of these kind of like childish abandonment. You know, we talked
just generational trauma.
Mitch, I'm pretty sure you made an episode title out of my little, like, you know, the perils of being earnest or the perils of being. Whatever.
I loved that title.
Yeah. What was it? Gigi and the perils of being genuine or something like that.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. As I remember, I felt good. I was like, oh, I said something that ended up in the episode title again. I love when I do that.
I like to try and do that, but
I feel so smart when you do that for me. But yeah, I think that there is so much here that is, you know, it just feels so real and it feels so genuine, especially in like these specific connections that are being made and specific ideas. I'm realizing my green screen is blowing onto camera because of my fan, and I don't want any of you to see that. So pretend you don't see it.
That's all right. I'll just Ultra Key it out in that Premiere Pro.
Right? Yeah, you can do that because it is a green screen. Anyway, that's how I take all my thumbnail pictures. You know?
I'm going to put the worst picture of you I can find on that green screen.
Oh, you can ask any of the friends in the group chat. They'll have plenty for you to use.
There's plenty, yeah.
There's a lot. But you know, but like this has also been so much fun for me because like, you know, and I hope those of you at home have had fun with this, where like something will happen in the show and it like unlocks a memory for me when I was in high school, and we kind of go on like a long-winded journey about shit. Were you gonna say
no, and you keep going, keep cooking. I mean, all I was gonna say is that I do want to talk about that because this show really, really, really plays on the vibes of that first high school crush that you have, right?
And again, I will give the show credit. I'm looking through your episode titles. I did not realize that episode 1 was a Kendrick Lamar joke until like right now. I probably knew at the time and then forgot.
I had that title locked in way before we even did that.
They not like us. Certified Serpo, certified PETA. Anyway, but like there's something that just, again, I bitch about anime speak. I bitch about anime dialogue a lot. It is something I struggle with, you know, and we don't have to dwell on it here. But like to fully cross all of our wires of all of our individual shows, to go from like CBC to TNAP to Bombad to Pro and Noob, to now drag Force Center into this.
Oh, geez.
I love the term that Ken Joseph and Jennifer use of emotional canon, and even though I loathe some of the dialogue in this show,
Bad take.
there is so much like emotional canon that makes up for that, where it's like, oh, like this feels so fucking real, man, and it's for everything, it is. I have found myself, when in my youth, I had my own little like Okaroon and Momo moments that are like that feel ripped out of a very corny screenplay, and I dealt with kids like Kinta, and I dealt with people who like, don't say that name or I'll freak out, and like made it everybody's problem. Like there are so many things that I'm like, wow, like this feels real in a way that like is sometimes frustrating there. And I think it's also part of why, to give my like very honest and measured, like kind of like final thoughts for now, on DanDaDan, of like, there are moments that I think pull away from those like so larger than life, they are exactly how life feels moments. But I don't think it is enough to fully like nullify just how like genuine and real this whole show feels emotionally. But what were you feeling, Jerry? What were you going to say?
Just again, you're very beautifully putting into words, I think, what I feel and everything like that. This is the show. The romance part of this show is what I think. And again, I came for the aliens and ghosts. I came for the paranormal bullshit because I love that. But what I think seared this show into my soul and has made this truly into one of my comfort shows. Like I will just rewatch this show if I'm like having a rough week or something, you know what I mean? Like I'll just like start watching an episode and things like that. Like, current favorite episode is the Hayashi performance. Who knows where it's going to go? It's a great episode, but
I know where it's going to go.
Oh, hey, I don't know. We'll see.
No spoilers. No,
please. Oh my God, I've already seen some little clip, like little.
I'll say I know you've seen some panels.
I've seen some panels that like scrolling through DanDaDan like social media, and I'm like, I gotta get off of this. I gotta like not follow some of these people because I'm going to see the whole thing.
I've said this to Jerry and I've said this to Mitch, and I even think I said it on air, which meant that I was speaking to Jerry through the TV while speaking directly to Mitch.
Right.
That's why I don't check our group chat.
No,
I like, because I am so committed to like this experiment being as pure as humanly possible, and not to drag us kicking and screaming back. I refuse to let another Last Song Standing, Mr. Morale Evangelion happen.
I was on the DanDaDan Reddit the other day because they've lost their minds. I said that last week. They've lost their minds again after 210. I saw a thread, and at one of the comments at the very bottom was talking about Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
No
anyway,
way.
I saw it and I flicked, like I closed the tab and I couldn't find the thread again. So I have no idea exactly what it was talking about, and I'm so mad about it. And I was like,
worst.
I have to tell Jarod, like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, what's?
I mean, I get it.
Why am I seeing this here?
Why is it?
I mean, again, the album is about like generational healing and about how like scars from your childhood and adolescence will affect you into your and to being an adult, and how if you don't heal those scars, the cycle will continue. So like any show that like tangentially is related to like carrying a burden that goes beyond your years, you can easily slide Mr. Morale into in like a very efficient way. And I'm not just saying that because it's my favorite Kendrick album. Like it's just, you can very easily just go, oh hey, here's the thing. Here, this is why this is just Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. It works particularly well for Evangelion. But like, I was like, I refuse to let that happen again. And that is so funny that you're just going to be haunted by this album every show.
That was my
you
first
can do
thought.
a lot of Mr. Morale with Bebop as well. There's a lot of Morale Bebop overlap.
I genuinely thought the second I closed the thread on Reddit and when I couldn't find it, I didn't actually see it. I'm certain I manifested that spoiler tab on that comment, and I was like, "What is that something I just actually saw?"
Your
or
own
is that
psychic abilities, right? Yeah. Definitely.
Oh,
so mad.
That's so funny.
I'm not letting it happen again.
Right.
I can't let it happen
also
again.
feels surreal hearing Mitch's British baritone say Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. That was
quite comforting.
Those are words that Mitch was programmed to say. That's not in Mitch's dialogue tree to say Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. But no, like but what you were saying, I avoid our group chat. Because I know Jerry's like mentioned reading some of the manga, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, and I'm like, and obviously Jerry, I know that you watch the fucking show, so you know the point is I know nothing going in. And I want to put a high burden on myself
it because I'm a fan. I'm not just
but out of sheer paranoia.
I'm not just on the show.
Sheer paranoia. I don't look at shit.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I was talking over you.
And we appreciate your being here.
I'm here.
But like,
that's
my paranoia. I don't want anything to get spoiled for me. And now I have to wait 2 months. So like, and granted, that shit doesn't normally find its way to me with manga stuff, so I should be fine. But I'm still paranoid to maintain the sanctity of the whole
don't go looking
conceit of the show.
Don't go looking. Don't go liking anything that's done. Listen, we'll bring it to you. How about that? There you go.
I say I posted a few panels recently, but you will get no context from anything.
That's
absolutely
good.
No context.
Okay, good.
That's good.
Not even a character in the panel.
Well,
apart from one.
I am scared and again, so talking about the romance of it all. By the way, I wasn't expecting that when I got into this, and just that is one of the most endearing parts of this thing. I'm scared for the romance and stuff, not necessarily because of what's come and stuff, but I just, Mitch, you've given me reason to pause, and I start to worry, and I don't know, maybe I will start reading into it because I don't know if I want to be burdened with this knowledge or not.
If you start reading, give it a month is my suggestion. Let the current chapters and the current bit
stop
go.
Okay, I did that the last, because I know you said the last one had a crazy heart-wrenching moment or something, and anyway, but I don't know, man, these characters are some of the realest characters I think I've seen in anything. I love these characters to death. How in the world every single character of our main group is someone that I miss Manjaro and stuff, I miss every little character that comes in. I can't wait to see when they come back, and that is, I think, something special about this show as well.
The goat, Peeny Weenie.
Peeny Weenie shows up so often that I love him. Every time he shows up, I'm pumping my fist in the air. I love that his last time was when he helped rebuild the house, correct? Because that was, by the way, what a banger of an episode. I was laughing my ass off when Mr. Minecraft kept throwing a stick through the windows and stuff. That was the funniest bit, I think, in the entire show.
Anime only joke as well.
That's so good. It's so good.
So he does one thing in the manga and that's it. Yeah.
It's just so funny, man. I just I'm still laughing at the guy. As I remember, I texted Mitch. I was like, "Is that fucking Steve from Minecraft? Is that Steve Minecraft?"
It's Steve from Minecraft meets Max Rebo to speak our language, Jared.
Yes,
a little bit, it's little meshed.
Well, but this show does a great job with having it to go back to Star Wars land language for a minute. That it is very there's a lot of glup shittiness here. There's
a great glup
there's a whole
too.
lot of but it's glub shittos who join the main cast fairly quickly. but it's like, when you first meet them, it's just like, oh, who's this weird guy and what's his fucking deal, you know? Like, and that is just such a fun element here that, you know, I know that's something that Star Wars fans glom onto, you know, is you'll walk into a room and there's the obvious characters we're here to talk to, but in the background, there's a guy whose face is fucked up, who has an elephant trunk and gills, and like, you know, he doesn't walk, but he does backflips out of the door. What's up with him? And I want to know everything about him. Let me get his action figure, his Funko Pop, the comic book about him, the novel he makes an appearance in where he ends up being the villain. Like, you know, like Star Wars fans, we're wired to be like, well, who's that guy?
Yeah, no, exactly.
What's up with him?
Exactly.
What's up with him? You know, like, I think there's something about that for you and I particularly, Jerry, that our brains are wired for. Who's this weirdo?
Right.
What's his deal? You know, like I like, again, back to season 1 for Mitch and I was like, oh, I really like this intro. I can't wait to see this guy who's wearing a sombrero with boxing gloves, and he shows up, and I'm like, I love him. And
it's not a sombrero; it's just his head.
He wears an Embo hat again to speak Star Wars.
Yes, to speak our language, it looks like Embo. Character who I can't believe none of us talked about this when I was on my own show and on CBC. Embo's supposed to be in Mando and Grogu, and he's not in that trailer, and I'm still so confused. But anyway, I don't know if you guys talked about that on Bombat or not.
We did. But you know, listen, let's bring it back for Mitch, because we're speaking.
I just locked in
fluent Star Wars right now.
It's fine. It's just the name Ember. I'm like,
it's Dave Filoni's ring bearer, I believe, at his wedding was Embo. But no. Well, to speak on the background things, and again, in my very noob, to stick with the branding of the show, kind of perspective on anime right now, there's a lot of stuff going on screen. You have stuff going on in the background, but I feel like the way that DanDaDan does it, DanDaDan has like, nobody does it like DanDaDan. Like, there's stuff going on in the background that should be distracting, but only enhances, and to me, makes it much more enjoyable, much more interesting. Like that, just for instance, one of my favorites is the goddamn when right before they're going to Gigi's house, and I think they're trying to get Seiko to let Hana stay there, and Gigi's trying to play with Turbo Granny like an actual cat.
He's got the little
he's like over there like trying to. And again, by the way, Gigi maybe the best character. I don't know who I think my favorite character is, but when he like in the background, then you have her like karate kicking him in the face and everything. Just like there's so much little things, like little interactions, and the characters don't stop being the characters. They're not static in the background. They keep moving, they keep going and being themselves. And that's just so warm. And I love that. But
it's like we have Ira and Chiquitita. I can't remember which episode it is. They're all having the food. It's just all over this little tiny alien prawn baby. Like,
I think that's whenever Peeny Weenie like comes in with like the assist when they're fighting Evil Eye.
So I think it's literally the dinner scene after
they capture him. Yeah, like after they neutralize Evil Eye, they're all eating together. Ira's trying to pull rank,
and then every time they're in the background,
it's like, I told you not to come back and stuff, and then all of a sudden she dives on Chiquitita and it's like
every time like, Chiquitita's on screen and Ira's there, she's all over that baby.
And Chiquitita's like, do I have to leave your world, Beach? Yeah. Like, you don't have to leave. Don't leave me. It's so good. It's so good.
I love Ira.
Iris, and again, I think some people on this screen who shall not be named, they don't have a sense of fun with Ira.
No, they are joyless.
No, a little joyless. I'm joking. I offended you so much. Listen, it's okay. I get it. It's maybe the bit's not for everybody. I enjoy her, like, and I said this, and again, I said this at a group chat, and Mitch, I think, was afraid you were going to say this on screen. I called her the Miss Piggy of anime, and I meant that as a compliment because I love Miss Piggy. Did you not remember that? She's like, oh, Kirby to Okaroon. And then immediately, I love the episode where she follows Turbo Granny and Okaroon to the school and stuff, and she's like, "I never talk like that," and then she's
Oh my god!
"Oh, you're gonna kick your ugly hairy ass and shit," you know. I don't know, man. These characters are just so fucking cool. I love them. I cherish them with my whole heart. The comedy, I know the comedy in at least the dub is maybe some of the best comedy I've seen in anything like this.
It's one of the best dubs just you'll ever see.
Hands down.
Some things don't even come close. It's crazy.
I have no frame of reference.
We see sub stands for subtitle. Dub stands for dubbing, which is where you dub the voice over.
Don't patronize me, old man.
Wow.
Jeez.
Don't patronize me.
Okay, I'm gonna take my thick glasses.
Prove that you're not joyless.
What'd you say, Mitch?
I said, prove that you're not joyless. No.
I am not joyless. You're right. I am a very joyless person. But no, and again, it is Ira is working on me the way she's supposed to, and she's supposed to be grading.
It's fair.
You know, it's the Oscar of it all. You know, like I don't know how much of the Evangelion Pro and Noob you watched, Jerry. I know you've kept up with DanDaDan.
I got to go back. I was waiting.
Left, right, center.
I was waiting for this.
I've been getting shit left, right, and center because I did not care for Asuka for the most part.
Okay.
It's a bad take. It's a horrendous.
I can't wait to go back and just feel a sense of dread watching it. I can't wait. But I will. I am going to go back. I am going to watch that because I need to. But
Jerry's going to love There's No Fucking Baby. Jerry's going to be obsessed with that.
Probably am. Here's something to go back to the superhero of it all, and I don't want to like dominate this conversation here, okay? But
that's why you're here.
But shut up and let me talk. Okay. No, I'm sorry. No, you're joking. These are the jokes, kids.
Don't apologize to him.
No, listen. It's okay. All right. Well, look, I got to continue. I got to continue with my thought. To go back to the comic book of it all, for Comic Book Cast, for the Nerd Academy and stuff like that. Jarod, you made a point earlier, and I don't think I realized how similar, and I don't know if you would agree with this or not. I find a lot of similarities between Okaroon and Spider-Man. And I like that. I didn't really put that together till you were kind of talking a little bit about the comic book stuff earlier. And
there's definitely a Peter Parker streak to Ken Takakura.
I love
he's just the every kid, right?
Conceit. Right.
Yeah.
He's the nerd, and not necessarily like the getting the girl type thing, but just like that he is a legitimate good person who is trying to do right and stuff like that. Like the again, our Okaroon is like one of the honestly, I can't pick a favorite character. Okaroon is one of the best out there. I don't know, Momo's up there too for me, but
well, I think where the comparison lines up, you know, and like your mileage will vary on this take / interpretation, but it has been done and it has been posited that like the way Peter presents in his everyday life as Peter Parker, kind of down on his luck, dorky guy, especially in his teen years. You know, this is less of a factor as he's an adult. And I think Mitch already knows where I'm going with this. Where like there is something to be said for Peter's withdrawn, Peter's kind of antisocial as a youth. But it's when he puts on the mask that the jokes start, that he's laid back, that like we get into like he's more confident when he is Spider-Man by magnitudes,
right,
than when he is Peter Parker. And part of that is maintaining a difference between the two personas. Part of that is like the mask gives him the freedom to kind of let go of that inhibition. And I think that one of the big like Spider-Man Okaroon like joining factors is that like Okaroon he goes from being kind of panicky and kind of squirrely and kind of at all times to when he switches, it's that, oh, bummer, dude. I gotta go fuck this guy up. Yeah. Like, it's like, it's like, I'll mention a mutual friend of all of ours. It's like he turns into like a Giga Chad Connor Chikiti. And it works, but there's, it's the Spider-Man thing in the opposite direction, where Peter becomes more outgoing and he's more outspoken and he's goofier and he's sillier. Okaroon, like all of the high energy stuff melts away and he's just so matter of fact and he's so blasé and he's so, not, kind of squirrely and jittery. But yeah, no, I totally see. I really do see a Peter Parker-esque thing there. That is very, again, your mileage will vary on the interpretation of like he kind of changes. I don't think that applies to Peter by the time he's in college. I think he's pretty consistently the same person when he's around people he knows. Right. Like again, once he's in college and he's around MJ and Gwen and whatever, some of that artifice goes away and it's just him and you get kind of a heightened version of it, but it's still largely the same guy in and out of the suit. But no, I think that Spider-Man comparison is brilliant.
It's really funny you made the comics comparison, because Tatsu has made a comparison between a different character in the manga and a different comic book character.
Really?
But I don't want to tell either of you which one.
I would love, I do really want to hear it though.
Is it like okay, all right, how spoiler are we gonna get here?
I mean, it's not necessarily, it's not a spoiler specifically. It might give away where certain things are going though. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay,
how about this? I'm gonna kill the sound in my headphones.
Well, it's the thing. Like, if neither of you want to know what it is,
I don't know if I want to know. I think you want to know more than I want to know.
I do want to know. Okay. I do want to know.
I don't know.
I'm going to message you on Facebook, Jarod. I'm going to message you right now. Okay. Because I want to see your reaction to it.
Let me talk about at least then the fight sequences, especially in season 2, between Okaroon and Evil Eye. Some of the best superhero fight. You know what? Fuck it. Let me hear it. What is it?
That's interesting.
He compared Momo to Superman.
Momo to Superman?
Mm.
Interesting. I like that. Okay. I thought you were I thought we were talking about Okaroon.
It's funny. No. He said a different character to a different hero. That's so funny to me because now my head is spinning because I don't see it. I don't see it yet. I'm sure down the road I'll look back and go,
yeah, that's kind of why I didn't want to, because that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily a spoiler, but it might give you a direction for a thing. Not that I know specifically, because that thing hasn't happened yet. It's just more of a theory, but it's.
Oh no, the wheels.
There is.
Like I said, I know. I'm just so compelled by that. Like
that is interesting.
I don't know what to make of that. I don't know if I have no idea what Saru means by Momo is similar to Superman.
Tatsu, Saru's the studio.
I'm sorry, Tatsu. Thank you. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that.
Interesting.
Because I don't get the vibe from Momo that she's a person of two worlds. I don't get the vibe of her being mild mannered at all.
No, she's not.
No. I don't. Like I said, I struggle to see the comparison. This is the guy who created the character, so I take his word for it that he sees a similarity there. I'm very excited to see what the fuck that means.
Very interested. Yeah, no, a very interesting comparison. Absolutely.
You'll forget it by the time season 6 comes out.
Sure.
No. Unless you catch up before
season
then,
6, you say? Sweet Jesus. Yeah, I don't even want to think about how old I'm going to be when season 6 comes out. Anyway.
Well, hopefully after the wait for season 3, or season 2, whichever way you want to call it, because it's cause, it might hopefully go back to yearly. But
I mean,
I don't know.
If I can just send a prayer up to Tatsu, please, or Science Saru, just like, come on, guys, please, I need it, I needs it. But yeah, no,
I need it.
God, sweet Jesus, you're not wrong.
No, I'm like, that's so interesting to me. That's so interesting. I never would have thought that.
That's a meaty bone to chew on.
Momo. I thought it might be Momo, and like I don't know why. Maybe because I said I also saw like a little bit of X-Men in there. My mind went to a Momo, Jean Grey, Marvel Girl, Phoenix.
Yeah,
comparison.
more of that just for the
the
telekinesis. Yeah.
I mean, the telekinesis, I could also see something where like, Momo, like everybody has kind of been put in this situation where like, and not even everybody, it's mostly been GG, but like people have kind of like brushed with the idea of like, what does it feel like to not fully be in control of these powers? And for the most part, Momo is the only one who kind of has a consistent like ability to use them, a consistent competence with them, and a consistent ceiling for them. And I was like, I could see a like, oh, I'm a little more powerful than I'm comfortable with being type of story happening with Momo. And like maybe there's a Superman thing there, but that's not really something you explore that often with Clark, where like it's pretty like, oh wow, I can do this. Now I know what I can do. I know how to act accordingly. Like it's that is compelling as fuck.
It's a very, very compelling comparison. Oh my God. Yeah, yeah.
I might just quickly delete a thing on Blue Sky that I made yesterday, though, because I don't want either of you see. Even though I think Jerry might have already seen it, but I'm
Blue
not
Sky doesn't work. It doesn't show me any of my friends' posts.
That's okay. Then I'll leave.
Don't feel bad about this, but I'm probably gonna unfollow you. No, it's what I'm joking.
That's totally fine. That's fine. I wouldn't blame you. That means I'm free to skeet my DanDaDan every Monday.
Skeet all over the place, man. Yeah, go for it.
I said that when Taylor and I saw some friends of ours Monday night, and I mentioned that, and they both, and Taylor hates it already. I think it's 90% of the reason why she only just now got on Blue Sky because of Luminous Odyssey. And she made the face, and then our friend Angie was like, please stop saying that. Please stop calling them skates. None of us, nobody likes that.
The post doesn't sound right. No.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Skeeting. Skeeting doesn't sound great either.
So skeeting sounds worse, but it's no.
It's worse, but it's funnier, so it's better.
There is that.
Sounds bad when someone like me says it. Like, look at this. Like, skeet. I was skeeting yesterday. It's just that. No, it's just not good.
But yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Is that all we have for this one? Is that all?
I just want to quickly.
Mitch, you have questions. Jerry, if you have any other points of contention you want to bring up to me, I'm ready to hear it from you, because Mitch has made it a point to being a heel on this show that I don't know. I truly don't know, like, when I have an opinion that's out of line. So I'm like relying on you.
9 times out of 10, to be honest.
Who I trust to be honest with me, to tell me, Jarod, you're out of pocket.
Right. I think that you had a lot of really good thoughts and stuff that you might like. My only thing is like, I what I want to know, what made you like gush about this? Like what about this show makes you want to gush about it? Like what brings you joy about this? Like, give me that.
I mean, it's the characterization. Like it's truly the characterization.
No, go for it.
Like it truly is that. Like the characters have such great chemistry. Again, the characters have chemistry so good that I can forgive how just abysmal the dialogue is sometimes.
Okay, that's a take I will push back.
That's a me thing.
See, it's a bad take. It's a very bad take.
That's a me thing. There are some moments of dialogue. There are some. Again, I said before, and I know this pissed some people off. And say it again, the Disney Channel movie-esque, situations that Momo and Okarun found themselves in season 1 a lot of the time, they wore away at me. It did not change how strong the characterization and how strong the chemistry was. Like, there were so many hurdles I had to face in terms of genre and in terms of presentation that typically do not work for me, that I didn't even jump over the hurdle. I just juggernauted through.
Right.
That I was like, and that's the thing. Like, I keep coming up on things that do not work for me, that typically I brush against, that like I propel past.
Right.
Because the thing past it is so whole, and it feels like there's already such a complete vision and idea behind that. Like, I don't just forgive. I go, okay.
Right.
It's like if I can make a comparison, as somebody who, you know, like a lot of my friends and family are convinced that I'm like really good at eating spicy food. They're fully convinced that, and granted, like I developed a stronger palate for that kind of thing than most of the people I know. But like a lot of people are convinced that I can just tank hot shit and it not be a problem. I am very much the type of person who will happily eat something that is uncomfortably fucking hot if it tastes good enough. Like that is something I consistently do, you know, like, and Taylor has seen me, like we'll be out to eat. I'll see something on a menu. I'll order it and she'll see me take a few bites, start sweating, see my eyes turn red and kind of like look at it disappointed. And she'll go, what's happening? Yeah. Teapot thing. And she'll be like, what's wrong? And I'm like, it's hot, but it's not, it doesn't have flavor to justify the heat. You know, like I'm not one of those people. Like I want to eat something that's going to flash fry my mouth and deep fry my booty hole. You know, like I want like it needs flavor. It needs flavor. And I think I can compare DanDaDan to like a really flavorful, tasty, incredibly spicy dish.
I like that.
Like we went, I think this is such a weird memory I just like re-unlocked. It's not from that long ago, but like a couple of years ago when Taylor and I had to put one of her dogs, you know, to rest, you know, we went to Mad Mex after because we were both hungry and we just wanted to be anywhere but like home or in the car, you know, because we just didn't want to think about it. And I got like a chicken burrito and they had a sauce that had a ridiculous fucking name on it. And I was like looking at like the flavor profile they had in there and like some of the ingredients in the sauce. And I was like, that doesn't sound too bad. And I got it and I'm eating it. And I am like, when I say red in the face, I mean red in the face and sweating. And like, I got to the point where I asked our server to stop bringing me waters or Diet Mountain Dews and just bring me milk. Like, and I'm like taking like 2 or 3 bites every 5 minutes because I needed to take a rest from it. And Taylor's like, Jarod, you know, you don't have to finish it. I'm like, it tastes so good. Sweat, red faced, like, you know, I'm having a hard time breathing at this point. I'm guzzling like cups of milk trying to get through this. Just, you really don't have to eat that. I'm like, Taylor, you don't understand how fucking good this tastes. That's how I am with DanDaDan. It's like, I can just blast past the things that typically don't work for me at all in the slightest. But there is something so raw and real and human about this story that I can't, you know, I'm not going to let that get in my way.
See, I can always not even forgive it because I don't think there's anything to really forgive, but it's a lot of DanDaDan is taking those old tropes and just having a little flip on it. Like every character outside of Momo and Okarine, for an obvious reason, are either parts of a personality they would have or the ideal version of them. Like Ira is the ideal version of Momo. She's the prim, proper girl. She's, you know, she presents herself properly. She's popular. Everyone likes every single thing about her. Like Gigi is that ideal boyfriend that that Okarine thinks of for Momo. And you get someone like Vamila at the end. Vamila is like Momo's idea of Okarine's perfect girlfriend because she is the only, like, the woman alien in the show.
Yeah. Raya, not me.
Yeah, Raya, not me, yeah. Right. Or Bamila, whichever one. Whichever 3
I'm never letting go of Raya, not me. I was so proud of that, and I was like, I had such a funny little joke on Pro. I told Taylor, I was like, I had such a funny little joke. And she was like, what was it? I was like, there's 18 layers to this joke. You won't appreciate it. But because you're normal and you haven't watched Evangelion, but trust me, it was really funny. It was really funny. Really. And I'm gonna drive this joke into the fucking ground. If
we were in Japan right now, this would kill.
So, I would be, dude. Oh my God. I'd bring that house down with Raya, not me.
Someone's probably already said it in Japanese.
Probably, but I don't give a damn.
Wow.
That was my original thought in the moment. That was me who does not have like the cultural cachet to fully have bigger, better jokes, to go, elementary level wordplay.
Bless you.
Camera's closer than normal.
Yeah.
It's like
that was so Kinta of you.
That was, yeah.
No, it's not. No, I'm not doing the fucking shit. No.
He does that on one of the covers. No.
Absolutely not.
Push the glasses on. You can't say absolutely not when you're the person that first said, "Oh, that's me."
I said I got worried it was me. I said I got worried it was me, and then he started doing. No, I said I was worried it was me, and then Kinta started scaring the hose, and I went, "Okay, it's not me."
If we put you in a room for the hose and you started talking Star Wars and Alex Jones stuff, you're gonna scare them.
Okay, guess what? Scary, yeah. Guess what? I don't talk about in front of the hose. Alex Jones.
I don't believe that. No.
And I don't bring up Star Wars unless it's some ladies who like Star Wars. Also, I just want to say to our viewers, I use scaring the hose in a gender neutral way. I don't want anybody to think, and I think
I'm not very comfortable with how much we are talking about hose. So anyway.
I just want everybody to know. I when I say scaring the hose, I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean Jerry. I mean normal people. I mean normal people are the hose.
Come on.
And
I'm
you
just now realizing
people.
how often I use that phrase in public, and I'm like, oh, that might come back to me.
To quote Ghostbusters 2.
I watch it.
To quote Ghostbusters 2, boys, you're scaring the straights. So,
that too. Listen, I was watching Anytime with Ken and Alden earlier, and Alden made a joke about Chrysanthemum Gate. And I was like, wow, what a crazy thing that happened. Could never happen to me. And then I'm like, you say the phrase scaring the hose once a broadcast that you're on,
it's a lot.
That might catch up to you one of these days. But yeah.
Crazy, man.
But yeah, that's what makes me gush about DanDaDan. That's what makes me gush about DanDaDan. And again, and I'll say this as well, like for anybody home, I know Jerry knows this, because we've talked about it, on our own. I think a lot of the conversations we have about DanDaDan, like, accidentally feel net negative, and I don't like that. I think a lot of it is like the nature of Pro and Noob as like an exercise and as a show puts me in a situation where it's like, I have more to say about the things that I'm trying to unpack, where this show in particular does so much that just inherently works for me, that like I have not necessarily little to say, but I find myself kind of looking to Mitch, whether or not it's like, a lot of the time it's couched in some like, ribbing and some light bullying in a tete-a-tete. It's why you tune in.
There's no bullying on this channel.
Sure. But that back and forth. You
told me not to show you the other day, but whatever.
What?
I said sure to you the other day, and you went, "Don't show me." But it's fine. You sure away.
Okay. Well, it was meant to be a sarcastic joke, but this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Is that like, I know I will show up. I'll be like, this thing I think is dumb and doesn't work for me. And Mitch, who understands this art form inherently more than I do, it is the whole point of the show, is able to, go, well, X, Y, Z. And I understand it and I unpack it. I think that, and I think it's manifested different ways. With Evangelion, it was, this show is notorious for being complicated and Byzantine and weird, and it's so hard to like truly wrap your head around it, and it's just, it's like there's a weird, it leaves you with these weird emotional gaps. Like it feels like a song that ends with a chord that doesn't resolve until you get to the final ending with the rebuilds. And, so like that, so like Evangelion, it's like trying to understand it is what most of the conversation was. With Bebop, there is this almost dramatic irony to that season of this show that I did not realize or fully grasp that the point was that Spike is a static character. And that I think in a weird way, by the time we're done with it, the season of Pro and Noob about Cowboy Bebop is kind of me like screaming at the TV for Spike to get it together. You know, and realizing by the end he never wanted to. And like grappling with that. And with DanDaDan, I think it is manifesting as, here is a story that you will love. Here is a story, here's a you know, coming of age hero's journey with this really fun cast of characters that emotionally feel real. And we're going to build them up with an artifice you typically don't like, despite the fact that the core of these characters resonates deeply with you. How do you get past that? And that has kind of been the Pro and Noob DanDaDan experience for me. And I just want to say again, as we're doing this kind of like last conversation for now, is that like, I want to make it abundantly clear again. I love this fucking show. I've had so much fun with this goddamn show. It is just part of the experiment to go, ooh, I'm being faced with these tropes, these, you know, quirks of the art form that I've not had to deal with. Talking about Evangelion, talking about Princess Mononoke, talking about, you know, Bebop, obviously talking about Tartakovsky Clone Wars, you know, like I haven't had to deal with these in those, you know, like now, like the anime speak, the, you know, like romancy tropes that don't typically are my cup of tea, that's here. And I have to deal with that. But I, you know, like I said, I blast past it. But yeah, sorry for yapping and sorry for defending myself, but
I don't accept the apology.
Okay.
I just want to know
That's
exactly how many glasses of milk did you have to drink while watching DanDaDan? That's what I want to know.
How many Chiquititas have you killed?
Oh,
why
would you do that? No, don't kill
because it milks his blood.
Oh, that's right.
So
how
every
many
glass of milk you drink,
how
you're
many
killing
have
Chiquitita.
you killed? Now I want to know.
Do you think the 2% milk I was drinking at Mad Mex is the kind of organic shit that Chiquitita needs?
This guy up here is drinking buttermilk. He ain't taking anything from Chiquitita at all. So.
Yeah, I would say, Tim, at home is buttermilk.
No thanks.
So
this is for you. Buttermilk for me. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you want your blood to be tangy, Chiquitita?
Blood tang.
Also, it's a really funny way to get around censors, because a lot of anime censors make the blood white, which has its own problem because it looks far worse in certain situations.
Depends. Yeah.
So to counteract the opposite, do they make the jism red and now it just looks like Shinji?
No, it's still white. It's still white.
You're gonna have to go to certain websites that you cannot go to in Texas to find that.
Okay.
I don't even think they actually have that scene in the censored one. I'm not sure. If I've seen it, it's been years ago.
I'd imagine not. If I'm making a censored version of End of Evangelion,
I mean, it's kind of a crucial scene.
Is the Shinji hospital?
I mean, if they do that,
can't cut that scene. It's vital to his character.
Oh, you're right. I'm just saying, if I'm making a censored version, that is the first scene.
I think people would just be confused and scared for the child if it was red or something. You know, I mean, that's just like Shinji, buddy. I think you're gonna have to get.
At least he's in a hospital. No,
yeah, that's fair.
You can get help immediately.
Just like he immediately turns around and goes, "Nurse."
Good God. I created a problem.
Welcome. You're welcome.
I thought I was going to have the edgiest end of that joke, and then you went, nurse! And I was like, oh, okay, well, touche.
No, you know, like, come on. Anyway, all right. My apologies.
Jerry, if I ever get to play you in Epic Confrontations because Eli just refuses to book this obvious, like, 5-star match, I want you to know that every single promo, every promo I cut on you is going to end. Every promo I cut on you on Blue Sky is going to end with just you going, help! So thank you for giving that to me. But But yeah, if we don't have any other thoughts, Mitch, are we ready? I'm asking, do we have any other things we want to say, or are we going to announce the next pro and noob?
I mean, we can announce it if you want.
Well, we have spooky pro and noob, and then we have what we're doing.
It's quotation spooky. It's probably the closest thing you could get to spooky with anime. I don't think there's very many horror, like proper horror things for anime. But we are watching Perfect Blue, which is really funny because I watched something recently that is actually very similar to Perfect Blue, and that was completely coincidental. But after that, we are going to go on a long journey, a long 6 months trek.
Oh,
as long as Jarod can keep to the schedule of Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
the one show that people think might be the greatest series of all time.
So what I'm excited for with Attack on Titan is that because you told me going into DanDaDan that the first episode was very controversial.
Very controversial.
And because all I knew about DanDaDan was people saying, this show rules, theme song fucks. That is all I knew.
All I knew going in. Second open is better than okay. I'm going to die on that hill. I'm sorry.
I can go either way. Again, it's hard. It's hard for me to say no to hip hop. That is going to be the end all be all. When we talked about the opening discussion, I think holistically it's a better opening. I think I like Otonoke as a song better.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
I think that's where I fall. I think season 2 has a stronger opening between the visuals and the music, but as a song, I think I would listen to Otonoke more than the newer one. But going into Attack on Titan, I know that people hold the show in high regard. I also know that there is a lot of political discourse about this show, and I know that its creator has had some controversy set his way because of the way some people interpret this work of art. So I am excited to get in and, dissect it, get into it, give my own thoughts on what I think it is. And by the end, before we do this version of this conversation, for, pardon my hiccups, Attack on Titan, I am going to be reading everything I possibly can about its creator. So putting that up front, and we'll say this again in the episode 0 for Attack on Titan.
Can you not? Because you will absolutely spoil yourself. Shit.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying not until we do this version of that.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant to start the show. Okay.
When I'm saying in episode 0, I will reiterate this, that I am going in knowing people have said that Attack on Titan feels very fashy and that the creator has said some fashy things. I am not going to do that research upfront to maintain the sanctity of the analysis because I already know too much culturally about the show. So when we get to the end, having the final conversation, this is the final for now, but the final of Attack on Titan, I will show up ready to talk to unpack the politics of the creator. But until then, it'll just be me and the art and how I interpret it and how I engage with it. And I'm excited for that. I am excited to be challenged, not in terms of taste, but intellectually again, and have to go, ooh, I'm brushing up with ideas, not just trope that doesn't work for me. I'm brushing up with ideas I don't like. So we'll see. I'm very excited.
So Attack on Titan is an interesting one because it's one of those, it kind of transcended the medium it's in. Because when at least, especially when it was wrapping up with the final season, part 4, which fuck them for that one. You had so many people just talking about how this thing might be one of the best shows of all time. So
I'm pumped. I'm super pumped.
Interesting one. All 94 episodes. Be the longest one.
Wow.
Yep.
Not one by one. We're not doing that. Fuck that.
Oh, sweet God. No. Thank God.
I mean, either way, we're watching 94 episodes of this show. There just will be 94 episodes of Pro and Noob about it.
I don't know if I'm brave enough, but Godspeed, gentlemen. For sure.
You should watch it. Highly recommend. Highly recommend.
I might have. I just finished Just finished a couple of them. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hey, you have time between pro and noob, or between DanDaDan. So.
I might as well get a new obsession. That's for sure. So yeah, we'll have to go. Otherwise,
if not, start One Piece. Fuck it. No, get on that train.
Listen, that's the one that I know is going to take me like 5 years to watch. So, but why not?
You say One Piece was exactly why not? You can watch Pokemon. It's got as many episodes as One Piece. It's totally fun.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll go for it. Yeah.
Just skip some fillers.
I want to watch One Piece just so I can justify buying the Roosevelts.
Well, when the One Piece comes out, the remake, we'll get on it. But
I mainly just want that straw hat, Kuno.
Just buy the straw hat.
Just buy it.
I can't. I haven't earned my keep yet with that one.
It's fine.
Gotta earn it. Definitely
you buy it, you earn it. It's fine. Totally fine. Yeah. So thank you, Jay, for coming on for this DanDaDan.
Thank you guys for letting me come on here and talk. I don't know, like someone who needs to probably be committed about this show. Oh, I love this show so much. But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Of course, Jerry, pluggables. Jerry, plug.
Oh, yeah. You can listen. If you enjoyed me on here, you can find me on the Bombadcast every Thursday night. I'll occasionally pop on this gentleman over here's show. Occasionally, I'll pop on different shows. Our friend Ken Knapsack does a show. I'm his spiritual and alien and paranormal correspondent. Is what he is.
You're his Okaroon.
I'm his Okaroon. Except for the whole bit is I actually try to sound schizophrenic on there. And so, yeah. So here we go. It's great. We love it. But anyway, guys, thank you for having me on again. Follow me at the Canon Junkie on anything you can find me on. And yeah.
No doubt have Jerry back.
Find these nuts. I would listen when DanDaDan comes back. I'm your guy. I'm here.
Of course.
In 2 years or whenever it comes
dream
out.
Of anybody else.
I couldn't do it. No. Knowing how painful it is to hold DanDaDan back, we've got no one to talk to. It sucks.
Yeah.
I couldn't put Jerry through that.
It's got to be here. It's got to be here. I appreciate it. And listen, it's hopefully I'll be able to jump on that one tree with you guys, but I'm just happy that you had me on for this. So thank you.
And we're very happy to have you. I said it whenever Scotty was on. I'll say it again. Bombadcast is doing shit that no other like beyond just Star Wars, like any pop culture podcast is doing. It is such a unique breath of fresh air. It's something that like is just so unique and organic. I am proud to be the most recurring guest on the Bombadcast.
The most harassed guest on there as well. So. I'm also the most harassed on Comic Book Cast. I'm like the only guest ever on CBC. So I get that by default, but I'm definitely the most harassed person on that panel. Speaking of, catch me on this most recent CBC talking about the Mando and Grogu trailer. Where Mitch, you love to talk about me being the Star Wars opinion police. How did I manage on CBC earlier today?
I heard the whoop whoop in the background.
Thought I whoop whooped.
I don't think you did, but I heard the holding back of the whoop whoop. It was a fake whoop whoop in the background. I didn't even say anything bad. I was just like, it's a teaser. It didn't show me.
Yeah, no. I got a little touchy about it just looks like the TV show, and I was like, nah.
Yeah, but it does.
Ooh, them's fighting words. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they are. But
see, Mitch is safe from ever having to go on Bombad because when you guys stream, that doesn't stop Mitch from watching live most weeks. But
I have an excuse of it's 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning for me.
Yeah, therefore, which is the best time to watch our show, honestly. So it
is.
Yeah. You know, high off your balls as well. You know. So yeah.
But yeah, so go check out the Bombadcast. They're doing it like nobody else.
Truly.
One of my favorite interactions I had with Mitch recently, when we were sitting down to record an episode of Pro and Noob a few weeks ago, Mitch was like, "So, Jerry and Scotty, when they say Star Wars under a microscope,
Oh.
do they mean they're putting things under a microscope, or are they like doing like a very specific analysis? And I was like, well, in the social media post it says we're literally putting things under a microscope.
Yes.
We are literally
with Jerry and Scotty, the literally can mean anything.
No, we contain multitudes, and it's frightening and hilarious at the same time. And so come and be horrified. We have room for all. So yes. Join us.
So in my heart, I knew it was a literal microscope. I knew exactly what it was going to be.
Who just owns a microscope? Scotty just happens to be a teacher and
lesson.
But yeah, so go check out Bombadcast. For me, over on the Nerd Academy, the day y'all are seeing this, tomorrow on the Nerd Academy podcast, a very special announcement is going to be made. Mitch and Jerry know about this. I'm very excited to make this announcement. A very, very big project is coming to TNAP.
Not that video.
Not that video. Everybody knows about Duelist. Listen, y'all, I got a new gig. I'm going to be able to buy the shit I need to buy to make the fucking video essay come out. And when that comes out, be ready because it's going to be a banger. But a very exciting other project is coming to the Nerd Academy podcast, one that I'm very proud of, one that I'm very excited for. It's going to be cool. I am terrified as to how I'm going to balance that with watching all of Attack on Titan. That's going to be a time and a half for me.
Well, just do one, like we do 3 each episode or each week. Just do one a day for 3 days. It's 20 minutes.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, it's going to be interesting how I balance this. But tune into the Nerd Academy podcast to hear a very, very special announcement, and go on over to the Our Mini Systems YouTube channel, where coming soon, Michael's going to start releasing episodes of our new Star Wars RPG, Luminous Odyssey, taking place during the High Republic era. Nice. Very excited. So go check all that out.
And because this is my show, despite what Jarod might make you think there, you can find me anywhere on the link tree in the description. I think I still do that. Yeah. Or on the screen. Blue Sky, Mitch692, or Mitch692 channels, one of the two. And right here, so like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you for Perfect Blue in October. So, peace.
Jerry, would you like to send us off?
Let's do. Find your ball!